Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. I am finally going to be on time for a video topic and like everybody cheer, everybody applaud. Jay is finally actually going to talk about a topic that has happened in less than a week. Maybe if I can edit this video that fast. Now you sound stupid. Now you sound stupid because we waited a video. And now you sound stupid. It's been a week. It has been a week. I sound so stupid. But I'm gonna talk about something. It's going to be a shorter video because it is a topic that a lot of you guys are blowing way too out of proportion, but I do think it is something that I quite disagree with, but not so much to an extent of I am making 20-minute videos. Bro, I saw a video about this topic that was like 30 minutes. Like, brother, it was never that serious. But, you know, let's talk about it, okay? Yo, what's up? I'm Jay. Art fight. I don't think you would have clicked on this video if you didn't know what art fight was and you didn't know what the topic I'm probably talking about was. But if you aren't aware what art fight is basically a web event that happens every year during the months of, I believe, the beginning of July and then the beginning of August. So it is a month-long event that happens, and it's basically a glorified art trade, but just with thousands upon thousands upon thousands of artists. This is basically like a big event for many artists who are in the art community when it pertains to being online. It is an event that I have been a part of since like 2021. I did have a break in like 2022 though. Then I picked it up. No, 2022, 2023, and then I got back in 2024, and then I got back in 2025, and now the year is 2026, and we are going to have another one that is coming up very soon. And the attack part of art fight is basically, you know, the artists will be split into two teams that they can choose on their own. And last year, for an example, was crystals and fossils. I chose fossils. The fact that we lost that year, I don't, crystals had to be cheating some way. There is no way we lost. But basically, you will pick your own team and you will fight people on the other team, where you can even fight people who are on your own team, but I'm pretty sure the points don't count when you do that. So, you know, it is just a very fun event and a lot of people partake in it. But due to the fact a lot of people partake in this event, there are some rules that come along with it. Not going to lie, I have already seen a lot of discourse about the fact that art fight has rules in general, and the fact that it is a glorified art trade, and the fact that there is rules in drawing and making art is quite problematic. But I do think that is quite a stupid statement, because I don't know if you guys remember the human centipede stuff that happened. If you know, you know. That's anything on the internet that has a lot of people, especially art fight, has a lot of artists in the art community. Oh my god, like, please, for the love of God, have rules. If art fight did not have rules, I'm pretty sure I would never participate. But art fight does have a long list of rules, and you know, they're nothing out of the ordinary. Like, people above 13 should be on art fight, and not going to lie, when I first did art fight, I was not 13. So, I mean, like, I've already broken a couple rules when I first started art fight. Now that I'm older, got a little older, I follow the rules as much as to the best I can, and we'll get to that later. But art fight does have a lot of rules, like you can only have one account per person, you can't use any AI when you do it. That's one of the newer ones, because art fight has been something that's been since I think 2016. You know, all artwork should be yours if you are attacking somebody, and you can't collaborate also, I'm pretty sure, is one of them. So it is a site that I have looked into the rules, I believe more so of last year. No, 2024, because like I wanted to make sure. And I think that's the reason a lot of you guys are mad about this new rule. Literally put that in quotations, because this is not a new rule, and I know you guys are probably new or never read the rules of art fight, because, again, we'll get into it. Recently, in the art fight Discord, I believe, a moderator had announced a not new rule, but a new clarification of a rule that had already been established in the rules of art fight. No tracing allowed was like a very big rule, and it was one of the big three up there. Like, no tracing, don't steal art, especially since this is an art trade, and you know, you are making appreciation art for people who are doing art fight. Tracing something is bad, but a really big rule was to not trace. And over the years, and not gonna lie, I had trouble with this rule myself, so I am glad there was clarification on it, because the idea of tracing can come from a lot of different, you know, areas and perspectives on what is considered tracing, and if it's just a carbon copy, or just like no use of reference like that allowed. And that was kind of the clarification point. I'm gonna read what they said for you, so like don't worry, twin, I got you. Bases, character creators, and doll makers may be used for character images, but must be credited. They may not be used for attacks. This includes websites like P-Crew, Hero Forge, video game character creators, and other doll makers. This includes artwork traced from possible 3D models such as Clip Studio, which is a really big popular one, Studio Paint, Design Doll, and similar programs. Or, and this is the one that I will be talking about mostly, self-made bases and photographs you have taken. I understand. I absolutely understand why this has blown so much out of proportion, like how it has. I do totally agree. But it's mostly that last part. Not using P-Crew, like Pit Crews, I don't really know how to pronounce it actually, but not using like these kind of bases when you are making art for somebody. I do understand like why that isn't allowed, especially if you are tracing those things. That is not your art, and you should not be doing that, especially when it comes to art fight. Another team is supposed to win over another, and if you are tracing, you're basically cheating the game. I do get to some extent the Clip Studio kind of like already made bases. I do get that to an extent. I do understand, you know, you technically are still tracing something that is not yours. But what does kind of bother me is that those are specifically for artists who need reference, artists who need help with anatomy, and artists who do not have time maybe either to learn anatomy or do not have time to heavily fixate on a pose, which, oh my gosh, I'm guilty of doing all the time. So I understand why that is also there, but two, I'll get into that later. But the one that made me realize why people are mad, and I do think it also makes me mad too, is you cannot use self-made bases and photographs that you yourself have taken. I am sorry, Art Fight. I love you. #1 supporter. That is some straight BS. I don't know why. One, you are making art if you are making your own bases. And I'm sorry, but like you should be able to have the absolute right to use your own bases. Have you ever heard of like the YCH, the Your Character Here? People do commissions and have those and make money off of it. Art Fight. We are making art for free for other artists. If I want to use a base that I made just to save myself time, because I don't have time to be doing a bunch of revenges, and I don't have time to be doing a bunch of attacks if I were to do them completely originally. But the fact that you are banning not having your own bases that you have made, I do think that's quite ridiculous. I think that is absolutely ridiculous. Also, the not having photos of yourself, brother, bro, I am guilty of that. I won't lie. I use myself as a reference all the time. I may be chopped as hell, but like, dude, if I need hand references, these sausage fingers have me covered. I use my hands all the time when I need to reference hands, because sometimes like an open hand, a peace symbol, like that's easy. But if I'm doing some complex finger work right here, that sounds really bad. You understand where I'm coming from. You understand what I mean. And I do think this is also a crazy thing, because it's like pictures, like if I take a picture of myself, I'm not allowed to use it as a base. Bro, what upsets people the most about this new like establishment of a rule, because again, this was a rule, no tracing, you know, no stealing from other artists, that has been a rule. But I do think the clarification has definitely rubbed people the wrong way, including me, is of the fact that Art Fight, regardless of how you see it and regardless of how sophisticated you want it to be, it is still a place where people are getting free art. Like, I believe a lot of you have gotten entitled when it comes to Art Fight and feeling like you deserve the best artwork of the best. And that's just kind of like not how it works. The fact that you're getting any art at all should be what Art Fight is meant to be. The fact that you are getting art, and again, with obviously some that stutter is so bro, are you okay, my guy? Oh my god. Rules to bend, because again, oh my gosh, dude, I cannot get over that human centipede shit. That was insane. But I do understand when it comes to rules of obviously like no fetish arts, especially if people are not comfortable with it, and if it pertains to NSFW, which I do think is allowed, you have to make sure the creator is comfortable with it. You know, you are allowed to make your own rules for if people attack you. So if you are uncomfortable with NSFW and somebody makes NSFW, like that's breaking the rules right there. Art Fight is again just a glorified art trade, and if people want to use bases that they already make, I do think that is okay. I don't think that should be a bannable offense, and I don't think that should be a blocked offense, because I remember I saw this on their Discord and it was like heavily disliked by everybody who saw it. So art fight, buddy. Come on, man. Like, we clearly see there's a problem. Part A to this reestablishment of the rule, and half of part B, I completely understand. I do think people are blowing it extremely out of proportion, because that is completely reasonable. But the not using bases that you've made, or not using, hell, even yourself as an example for anatomy, I think that's really stupid. I think, like, it shows almost like a level of entitlement, because I do think when it comes to art fight, I said this in some of my older art fight videos from last year, but I'm gonna say it again. I do think there's a heavily, like, dislike when it comes to beginner artists, because a lot of people feel entitled, like they should get good art and great art of their OCs, and that's all the reason why they came to art fight. For like almost a minute, I feel like that's why this was included. Like, oh yeah, if you don't know anatomy, if you don't know how to do that, if you don't know one of the hardest things in the world to learn how to do with art, you just shouldn't be here. I do think that is really, I don't like it. This rule rubs me the wrong way. I'm still gonna be an art fight regardless, you know? But a lot of professional artists use bases that they have made. A lot of manga artists use bases that they have made, because it's bases that they made. I can't get over that. I'm sorry. I don't want to blow this out of proportion, because this is an understandable agreement. I, for one, when it came to last year, would use kind of pre-bases that I already had, due to the fact that I was running out, and I was like, if I did a headshot, I would mostly do it in the same pose, because I already had my pose that I made for the first one. But now it's like, I do think I might slow down attacks due to this, because I really do not want to break the rules. A lot of people said, like, oh, they're never going to catch me. And, like, obviously they aren't, dude. Do whatever. I think this rule is stupid. But I like to follow the rules, or to the best of my ability. So if I can't do what I did last year, I probably will slow down production, which is sad. I do think that part is stupid, and I won't stop saying that. But a lot of people who think this is a complete outcry, or completely unforgivable, unbelievable, unreasonable, you are just talking to talk, bro. I understand to an extent, especially that last part. Holy shit. But honestly, that is it for what I had to say for this video. Really short, honestly, I know, and I'm telling you, I am trying to get that Q&A out, bro. It's been 3 months, and I'm already at 4K, which, thank you all. Thank BT Dub. Love you guys. I'm at 4K, which is amazing. And I am trying to get that 3K Q&A out, and it's like, I'm procrastinating so hard. I'm not gonna lie. I am. I for sure am. So if you like interacting with other artists, if you want to get other artists in for their art fight users, if you want to meet new artists that are into that stuff, you should join my Discord server, the Interstellar Art Space. It is an amazing place. Ooh, that rhymed. It's where you can meet a bunch of different artists, you can interact with a bunch of different people, and even if you're not necessarily an artist yourself, we have fandom spaces where you can talk about your interests, and yap, and rant, and do all that kind of stuff. And we host events sometimes, which should be more during the summer, because my school year is about to freaking end. This semester is almost over, and I have passed all my finals. Yes, God, I love, oh my God. That Discord's there if you want to join it. And if you did enjoy this video, you know, a subscribe would be much appreciated. Maybe a like. Maybe, you know, comment if you disagree or agree with this art fight rule, or if you've had even art fight horror stories, you know, things that you have never agreed with in the art fight rules, because I do think there are some that I don't personally agree with, but it's like, I'm not bringing that up, okay? Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, you know, support is all I need. And, yeah. I think that's it for this video, right? I don't think I have anything else to do. Oh my God, that light is bright as hell! Oh my gosh. But, I'll see you guys in, like, another 2 weeks or something. I don't know. I'm bye!